to the chop shop. I'm retro. Let's get it. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks. Going back and forth like Claude Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop.
Welcome to the Chop Shop, the midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Yours truly, Jim Hicks. I'm gonna give you guys a hot 30. You know, spring icebreaker week. I got my energy level back up. The pool schedules have been posted on our RCS Sports app. You guys need to download that if you haven't done so. That's gonna keep you posted in a timely manner throughout the weekend. The spring icebreaker. I'm talking about this is an unbelievable time of year. This event annually officially tips off the Grassroots season for the high school aged players. You know, the younger people, they play year round. Shout out to everybody out there. I see you, Todd Byerly. I see you, Sonia Billingsley. Thaddeus Moody. What's going on with you up there in Chicago? Seneca Johnson in the house. What's going on? We live up in this chop shop. Let's get this thing popping. We'll give people time to come on in. You got to wipe their feet off. You got this. Come on in. There's plenty of seats behind me. And let's talk about a couple of topics. Of course, Robert Hatter is on location with the Texas Southern University men's basketball team. They're in Fort Worth right now after winning last night in Dayton, Ohio, over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I want to give a shout out to Steve Lutz and his staff. Great, remarkable, historic season for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, being that he was a first-year head coach at this position on the job and takes the team to the big dance, which is remarkable for Lutz. Coming in there, basically, whenever a first-year coach is at the helm, you're basically, it's kind of like you're the, check this out, you know, I'm going to pull some analogies out. Sometimes they go to the left, sometimes they stick. A new college coach is almost like mama bringing home, she met a new boyfriend. She done searched. She done went tested, checked out. She got a boyfriend, but she's bringing this one home. He's moving in. And now you got that, what I call, that ain't my daddy syndrome. He ain't my daddy syndrome. That's what it feels like in many cases when you have a new college coach, a new head coach coming to the reins, because those players, you didn't recruit next to none of them, right? And you come in there and you try to, you surveying the land. The relationship has to be reestablished, but you don't really have time for a lot of stuff. And so that's what it is. So Steve Lutz walked in there and got it done with somebody else's players. And, that's a great thing. So shout out to him. Of course, 76-67 was the final score of that game. And if you guys remember, the other day, yesterday on the Chop Shop, I explained and pointed out something that this Texas Southern program, and I'm looking at it right now, right? 4 players from Greater Houston scored double digits last week in their win over Alcorn, right? And those 4 players, P.J. Henry from Shadow Creek High School, Bryson Etienne went to Bush High School, John Walker III went to Thurgood Marshall High School, where he took them to the state tournament, and of course Carl Nicholas from Pearland Dawson High School. Well, guess what? Last night, those same 4 young men, and then I throw in A.J. Lawson from Bryan High School, right? Forgot about him. He was one of the 4 that scored double digits as well in that win last week. Well, last night against Corpus Christi, check this out. I can't make this up. The score was 76-67. Those 5 young men from Greater Houston, so it's a 5, I said 4 because they scored, but Carl Nicholas grabbed about 8 rebounds in that win against Alcorn last week. Well, guess what they did last night? Those 5 from Greater Houston. So out of the 76 punts, they scored 66. I can't make this up. Out of the 76, they scored 66. 5 players. And not all of them start. They all have started throughout the year. Right? But guess what? Do you understand how magnificent what that means? I'll put it like this. It ain't a whole lot. This team from Texas Southern, think about this. Not a single player was selected to the all-SWAC team. Not a single player was first team all-SWAC. That it don't even it defies logic to think. I'm just saying, already they're playing with house money. You play Kansas next. Okay, guess what? These guys aren't afraid of Kansas. And I'll explain to you why. Now, they might just be overly energetically happy to be there. They're playing in Fort Worth, right? So that means that it could be a good quick drive. TSU can rally all HBCUs unite. Remember that old movie, the Warriors? When Cyrus came out there on the beach and he told everybody, all the gang members, unite. And then he gave them a speech and let them know who was the real culprits, and the Warriors didn't do nothing wrong. And everybody now, y'all embrace, these are our brothers. Well, TSU is your brothers. So now, Paul Quinn, y'all should be in Fort Worth supporting TSU. They need you. They need you. I understand it's Kansas. Well, most of the players at Kansas, their average age is about 20. Because a lot of those guys are 1 and done, 2 and done. TSU's average age of those 5 guys that I just mentioned is about 22 and a half years old. So basically what we're saying is, and that's what I said, those 5 guys all from Greater Houston. That's like a Greater Houston AAU team playing against another summer all-star team, but those players are a little younger. That's the way I would look at it. That's the way I would get in other words, that's the way I would get the players to look at it. So that's like, if you think about it, think what I'm saying. TSU is like a 22 and under. Kansas is a 20 and under team. So that's like if you were 17 and under, and you're a traveling team, you're going to play this 15 and under team. And they might have a pro on now, a future pro. Yeah. But for the most part, you're in your mind like, man, with them young, we don't even look at the school name. If y'all were playing shirts and skins, that's how Johnny Jones can get these boys, these young men at TSU to just for understand, just for an hour, hell, just for 30. Well, yeah, at least for the most of the first half, 30 minutes. If you can get them to subscribe to that way of thinking, we about to play these young boys. They based out of Kansas. They got players from all over the country. We got 5 from right here in Greater Houston, and then we got Gershom, who been to the Final Four, so he's been in this place. Let him guide the way with his spirit, with his spiritual value, presence to the team, and you can go out there and they can shock the world. They can shock the world, because one thing about this team, they defend. They're gritty. There's no one player to stop. They're long. They can match anybody with their length. And they're rugged. TSU is. I've seen them play a couple of times this year. They rebound pretty doggone good. I understand that's Kansas, but we're not talking about names right now. We're not talking about names right now. Pull the Nike swoosh off the tennis shoe. Or in Kansas example, pull the stripes off their sneaker. That's all TSU got to do. That might be a mantra for them. Pull the stripes off their sneakers. And from afar, how would you be able to tell that they're Adidas? From afar. I'm telling you guys, I feel something. Remember now, this team, when you have nothing to lose, but you can't, they can beat these dudes today. They can beat these dudes today. Remember, did any of you guys watch Alcorn and Texas A&M last night? I caught the end of it, right? I caught the middle, then I caught the end, right? I caught the middle and I caught the end of the Alcorn game, right? And I'm going to tell you something. That game, it was like Alcorn was winning at the half. Alcorn was winning at the half. Now, Texas A&M, they did what they were supposed to do in the second half of the game, right? And they overpowered Alcorn en route to the victory. 12-point spread on that game. That ain't a bad loss. You're on the road with basically a half of a day to scout, and you lose to Texas A&M by 12. You feel good if you're Alcorn. But right now, guess what? We got Hatter is going to join us right now, and we're going to cue him into the boom boom room. They can hear you right. They can hear you right now. What's going on? What's going on?
Man, I'm just listening to you talk about my boys, man. Let me tell you something. You hit it right on the head. Them dudes don't care. What you said, take the stripe off the. I'm going down and talk to them in a minute.
Yeah.
They take the stripe off them.
Off the sneaker. Just say, take the stripe off the sneaker. Take the stripe off the sneaker. And what are they? What they wearing? What they wearing? You don't even know.
We don't even know.
So take the Kansas off the damn jersey. You can beat them dudes. You got 23, 24-year-old dudes going against some 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds.
We can actually, you are absolutely right. We're the third oldest team in the NCAA.
Third oldest.
And,
wow.
Third oldest. And it's just, man, Jimmy, I think you just said something. You got me. I said, I had to call in. You said, man, I got a feeling about this one. I got a feeling about it too, man. I got a feeling we can shock the world, Doc. I'm just telling you, I got a feeling we can shock. If we play our game, we can beat Kansas. We can beat.
They're gonna put something on their mind. That's the key. And you got to put something on their mind. You could do it various ways. So it's gonna be a fun game. When is that game against Kansas?
Tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
What time?
It's the late game around, I think, our time, about almost 9 o'clock, by 8:45 or something. 8:40. It's gonna be the late game. It's gonna be, so you're gonna have time to do whatever you want Thursday, but you got to be. And some people text me that was on the feed today, Jimmy. When I was on the feed earlier, they said they turned the game down when they were watching, so they listened to the broadcast. Me chat about on the broadcast. So I found it interesting. I mean, I want more people to try. Y'all, the only way I get better, y'all tell me what I'm doing. So make that happen. For let's I'm gonna shout out to everyone. And if you text me or you email me and tell me you're watching it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shout you out on the radio. I'm gonna shout you out on the radio.
Right, live on the radio. Live on the radio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Live on the radio. I'm going to shout you out. Whoever texts me, if you got my number, you can text me. If you don't, I'm going to have my chopshophtx@gmail.com. I'm going to have that with me. Gmail.com. If you just say, Hannah, I'm watching the show, I'm shouting you out on the show. Yes. How about that?
And of course,
I'm bringing the chop shop. I'm bringing the chop shop to Fort Worth. That's what I'm doing.
Hey, I mean, and what's the weather like up there? It's better than Dayton.
Beautiful. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Like, it's gonna be about 70 something. They said about 70. Get my dog club. I'm pissed off. I ain't got my club, man. Hey Jimmy, I'll play with your club right now. You ain't got nothing.
Now, I was looking and reading something the other day that I want to say 60-something players from the state of Texas are playing from the state of Texas, meaning that went to Texas high schools. Not on Texas college teams, are participating in the final March Madness for the men's side. Shout out to Doug Jones out there. He says 8:57 p.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
And 67 more than any other state. So this is more evidence that goes on the cap. You know, you have one of those fishing hats and like this right here, and you put different little trophies around the band. That's what it feel like. I want to say it was either 67 or 87, but players, one of you guys, if you saw it, you can share it in the Boom Boom Room, the approximate number. And that is remarkable. That is remarkable. Because let me tell you why. For years, when New York would have would produce those type of numbers, they reminded the rest of the world at every turn. They reminded us. And after a while, if California, when they were producing those for a number, and California still does, they don't get it twisted. They're the measuring stick for year in and year out. They'd waste no time letting you know. Back when a run, and don't get it straight, don't get it twisted, Georgia is still hot, but when we think of Georgia, it's really Atlanta. It's really Atlanta, the area, the greater Atlanta area. It's really that. We're not thinking, well, a guy from Georgia, man, from Athens. But, you know, they get one every now and then from everywhere else. But Atlanta. We think of Illinois. Yes, they got talent in the Peoria area where G-Day is from. But when you think about Illinois, you really think in Chicago. You know, you really think of Chicago. Just like when you think of New York, you're not thinking about Albany. You're thinking New York City area. So my point is, when you're thinking about when it comes to Texas, there's multiple areas that are consistently producing the talent. And I really believe, Heather, that the emergence of a fertile ground, talent producing ground, as we call it ASAC, Austin, San Antonio, Killeen. When that area, they always had talent, but when they start consistently pushing talent through the pipes that were high major, every year they got one from down there. Whether it comes out or he develops into one, as we're looking at with University of Houston with Greg Shedd. Think about it. People, so that pushed and helped. You got DFW, you got Greater Houston. But then when ASAC comes in there, they're the X factor. That's that team nobody ain't scouting for. That's the player that they ain't really scouting for. That's just like in California, you got NorCal, you're thinking about the Bay Area. Then SoCal, it's the LA, the Los Angeles metropolitan area. But you know what? San Diego is the X factor. That area. So that's what I'm saying. Texas, we are it right now in basketball. We are it. So you don't have to try to convince nobody. They've seen enough. They know it now. Think about it. National champions in basketball. 2 years ago, we had the national champion in the NIT. 3 years before that, Baylor won the NIT national championship. When the COVID was going on, NAIA, University of St. Thomas, was ranked number 1 in the country. I think then they went D3. They went through the tournament. They canceled the tournament. Paul Quinn was ranked number 1, number 2 in the country this year. We're repeatedly pushing out that talent. Now, we as a state, if we spend less time squabbling each other with Houston versus Dallas rhetoric, keep the feud going. I like that. That's good. But if you spend less time, allow it to consume less real estate in your heads or your hearts. Now, guess what? I understand those guys, those of you who might have been on vacation before, or you might have to go sit down somewhere before, and the Dallas versus Houston feud, that light will never go out to those. But it was one of those things where, when I told the young people and some of the fans from Silsbee, 2 weeks ago, we were in Lufkin. Silsbee was getting ready to play Booker T. Washington and Houston, Washington. And I explained to them, I said, yo. And after the game, Silsbee won, magical comeback. They were down 14 in the first quarter, come back and win the game over Booker T. And a couple of the guys, the young fellas, was like, you Houston guys, y'all don't like us. I'm like, what do you say that again? Y'all don't like us. Y'all want us to lose. No. Didn't necessarily was rooting against you, but inside I'm rooting for Booker T. That don't mean I'm rooting against you. I'm always rooting against you guys when you are and when you're in a nominal situation, rooting for you. Now, if you spend less time thinking that Houston is against you, take that energy and channel it toward Dallas. And then you might can go down the state and beat Fate Family. That's what I told the young me. And so, which they fought hard, but fall troubles catch up with a lot of people at the state tournament. Shout out to Silsby, also Beaumont United for winning their state championship. Did you guys check out yesterday's convo, right? With David Peavy, the head men's basketball coach at Duncanville High School, which many people start calling them Duncanville University because they spitting out so good a talent around there. Well, Peavy came on at about 15 minutes past the hour and ended up dialoguing with us for approximately 2 hours. A great convo. And you guys make sure you go and check that out if you would. And but during the conversation, PB covered a lot of topics. And I'm gonna share some with you guys that let you know. And this is a good thing. But I'm just gonna let you watch it. I'm gonna let you figure this out for yourself. I want you to check this out. This came from Duncanville High School coaching staff. Watch this.
Cy Falls, Golden Eagles 6A, 7th ranked preseason team in the greater Houston area. The magazine, my uncle Jim Hicks, you know what I'm saying, gave this to me at the beginning of the year when we was down there for the opener. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jim Hicks and the Chop Shop, Mr. Hatter, what's good? So we appreciate y'all, man. Cy Falls, Golden Eagles. We got Cy Ranch. That's who we got next, our next opponent. So we using this as a guide, man. We appreciate y'all.
That is Coach Ford, assistant coach, Duncanville High School. And he's the one who calls the subs in. Remember yesterday, Coach Peavy said, I don't do any subs. I just coach the players on the floor. Remember Peavy said that. Coach Ford did the subs. And one of the things that we missed on is we didn't touch on yesterday. If those of you who watched that Duncanville versus Atascocita game, for which Atascocita led by 20 before losing by 15. At one point during the game, they were subbing like around 3 players in and 3 out on every dead ball. Duncanville was. Those players, they were subbing a clip of players in for defense and a clip of them in on offense. And which was really, really neat. And, you know, to say the least. And it worked. The kids bought into it. They didn't look at it as though I'm benching you. I'm taking you out the game. They looked at that. They embraced that as I'm doing this for my brother. This is what I need to do for us to win. It wasn't. Watch when next basketball game you go to. I want you to check out the body language when guys are subbed out of the game. Right? Just check out the body language for whenever guys are substituted out of the game. And you'll see something. I mean, real players don't really like coming out. But just watch the energy. Some guys when they're tired, I'm not talking about the ones that are exhausted and you get to the bench. But that regular sub, watch how it's just everybody gotta dap them up. They really not trying to dap everybody else up. Everybody dap them up. They go down, they sit down, they quiet. Nobody's there to restore their energy. You know? And so, the front Forbes says the Duncanville kids are different. Yeah, Duncanville roster looks pretty good next year. I mean, you're losing a couple of key pieces in your length. And but they are the favorite again, as it stands right now. They have Ron Holland is the nucleus next year. His role will be will be expected to be of dominant proportion. He just basically, they had a lot of different guys that played good roles. Anthony Black was their leader whenever he played. And Coach Ford's son, he got hurt midway through the season back in December. And he actually entered the season with a nagging leg injury. But he was one of their leaders. But they have, and understand, Duncanville had a freshman on that bench that got a chance to taste all of this, and he embraced his role. Because a lot of freshmen that's on ninth grade, on varsity, they sit down there moking. This young fella right here, can't think his name right now. You guys help me out. He got a nickname. Little fella, young fella that wears the dreads. He averaged about 45 a game in middle school. Right? That freshman at Duncanville would have probably started for every single team that was at the state tournament this year. Y'all give me his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have it in front of me. He's talented. He has some of that De'Aaron Fox in him. The high school version I'm talking about. He has some of that high school De'Aaron Fox in him. For real. Y'all help me out. Y'all ain't came up with the name yet? What's the little cat name? And so Melvin Dews asked, what do I think of Beaumont United's chances in the next season? All right. Beaumont United will be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, again. However, let's not forget, the route is much different for Beaumont United next year because they advance to 6A. They go into the same classification with Duncanville now. Different regions, but now Beaumont United has to go through, you guys understand, Beaumont United got to go through, we're going to hypothetically say that everybody returns to their high school for where they are, which we know based on today's society, there's going to be a little furniture moving around, and it won't be the case. But if that's the case, Elkins High School, Chris Johnson comes back, will be a favorite, along with Beaumont United. Also, I'm gonna throw a name out there of a school that's going to be a force next year. We know Stratford is going to be a team, but I'm not sure that Stratford would have enough to win 5 straight playoff games in order to get out of the region. Bel Air, but we know that this Bel Air team next year will not likely be the same because Jacob Cole is rumored to be transferring out of state. That's a whole nother topic for a different day. In 6A, Sock Creek is going to be right in the middle of the mix, but for the most part, I just to name you the heavy hitters. Atascocita, they find a way to simply reload every year, but they have a lot of seniors to replace. But they did last year as well. I won't be able to tell more until the Super 16 extravaganza. Kalen Edwards, that's his name, Kalen Edwards. The little young freshman from Duncanville. Thank you. Archie and Farb and Corey Henderson. Even Thaddeus Moody done his homework. But understand, this is based on everybody coming back. Who's the favorites in 5A next year? Everybody has some rebuilding to do. But Understand? Thurgood Marshall is going to be a force with Jalen Lowe. Man, in 5A, it's going to be kind of rough in 5A down here. Still too early to call. Got a lot of, I guess, a lot of times the grassroots season, it helps players morph or develop into, or put people on notice. That's one thing I like about the grassroots season. When you can find certain teams that have various players either playing together with and having success or playing apart, and they all are having success and having hit records wherever they go. It's kind of like, and then when they get back together, you know if they all get back together, it's on. It's kind of like New Edition when they first woke up. Every one of them that made a solo album, Big Six with it. Every one of them. So you imagine back then, we waited all the way, and now they on tour. They tried a reunion before, but now you got the whole crew. You know it's a hit. They ain't the same. Can't move, ain't the same mobility, but it's making good music. That's what I mean. That's my point. What I'm saying. Dominique Green say Texas City. Texas City could. I mean, 5A is wide open. We got Ridge Point. It's going to be good next year. There's a lot of teams out there that we'll be able to tell, because certain players will be like, you'll be like, oh, okay. Now, when it comes to like your Cy Falls, your Cy Ranches, like Cy Ranch, one of their top players was hurt, missed the whole year. How will he respond next year, or this season from that injury? It's not easy to do. Cy Falls, got JoJo Tugler, and the rest of them boys, they coming back. They lose a lot though. You got to replace Josiah McWright. They go to Region 2 anyway. Still, if I'm not mistaken. Clements is another team. However, once again, there's rumor that Clements, their star player, is being encouraged to move and transfer to another school that has yet to field a class. And that's the word that I picked up from my grapevine. Once again, it's happening, it's rampant around the area. And I tell you guys, all you got to do is just pay attention. And if you're paying attention, then guess what? You'll see things that people tell you, and it's like magicians out there. They tell you, they distract you by you looking this way, and they're getting you, and this hand going right in your pocket. So this and the hand going in your pocket. You don't even see it. Whoop, and it got you again. Whoop, you don't realize you done got until you get home. Then they might just give you a drink in the process. I'm using an analogy, in metaphoric proportions. And you guess what? This is what's happening in the city. You have people that's going around, right? People that's going around luring and connecting your top talent, your resources of the community to outside programs, out-of-state programs, connecting them together. And then, put the hands down like, man, I ain't nothing to do with it. I didn't call. Well, you put them together. And then you had a conversation. You have conversations. So then our top talent starts to lead. Because people would think, well, you know what, this is what I got to do. This is how I'm going to get the exposure I need. And that ain't the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. And I'm gonna tell you why. For the most part. What's the purpose of playing grassroots basketball on one of these sneaker teams? What's the purpose of even playing? Just say you're a rising senior. For example, you're going to the 12th grade. You're going to play one of these sneaker teams. Every single conference that you desire to play college basketball in will be us on the court side of your games. I guarantee you, every single conference, not every coach in every conference, but every conference will be represented every single game you play during the live period if you play for a sneaker team. 17U. So when people say, well, I'm going to go to this high school to get exposure, you get those offers during that summer, that's your last summer. You get those offers, right? And then you go and signing date is the second Wednesday of November. You pick a school, you go visit those schools in the fall. You go to their football games. But then check this out. If you're going to pick a school in the fall, you're going to sign in the second week of November. When does your high school basketball season start? Of that school that you're going to get more exposure. When does that start? Refresh my memory. I tell you, it don't start till after signing date. So the purpose for which you made people believe that you're going to these schools, for the most part, that plan, before you even run out and get in the layup line, you've already completed your recruiting process for most players. So tell me, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Other says kids just want to get out and away from local haters sometimes. Others just want something new away from home. When the last time, is it the kids what they want? Because we use that real loosely. Or is it the grown folk who has influence of the kids? Is it what they want?
Jimmy, in my experience, the kid might mention it, then the grown folks, instead of them talking like you talking right now, they just do whatever the kid wants. That's just in my experience, just in briefly. Now, I know it's something happened the way you saying grown folks influence people. I had this same conversation with a guy yesterday. And he just tried to explain to me, man, he get to play with better kids. He get to play with, I said, he's doing that in the summer. I mean, they was talking about, as a matter of fact, we was talking about the Jacob Cole situation. I said, dude, this man got everything to set up. I said, what is he going there for? You want to be at McDonald's? I said, duh. I said, duh. I said, do you know who? I said, do you know who he played in high school? Don't you know that man probably know everyone? I mean, I think you got to understand, Jimmy, some of these people have their mind made up about what they want to do with somebody else's kid. It's just unbelievable. I'm glad you brought it up. I just had this conversation today. They were just talking about, man, he needs to go away from maturity and get his mind right.
Really?
well, you motherfuckers, excuse me. I want to say you people around it. Well, maybe that's y'all's job to get his mind right. So y'all want to allow somebody else to go and get his mind right instead of his sphere of influence here in Houston. Dude, I mean, I just don't, Jimmy, you now that's one thing you got to do with me. You got to make that make sense. Because I think it's crazy shit. But guess what? Parents are listening to these people, like the guy I was talking to yesterday. People listen to them. He ain't got a fucking clue. Let me repeat that again. Parents, we are listening to people that come in and asking me. Y'all listen to people that come and asking me for information. These are the people that y'all listening to. They don't have the answers. They ain't never been in that position. But they got all the answers, Jimmy. I mean, this just happened yesterday. I did not know you was going to bring this up today. But when I saw, it was scary to me that these people have this much influence over these kids and their parents. And they just don't have a freaking clue about the blind is leading the blind, Jimmy. The blind is leading the blind. That's how I'm going to put it where a ghost can get. You got people that don't know nothing about this shit. I said, do you know who Glover? Do you know who Mr. Glover is? Do you know he's the coach at the Nike's camp? He's the coach at the NBA 100 camp. I said he's already playing on John Lucas' team, and John Lucas is the only male voter for the male team in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And in relationship that Glover has with all of these people, because Nike run this thing. Yeah, no matter how you think, you got to be exceptionally well from Adidas and them other places. But let me tell you, Jim, they don't know, Jimmy. And wait a minute. They might know and just don't care. I don't know. But I hope they just don't know. I'm sorry. I had to share that with you.
I mean, it's you look and of course there's a comment from DeFron Favre said they always prey on the kids' parents who don't know. 80% be single moms, and these dudes know this. And this, and that's what made understand. And right before then, you had this coming. First thing they say is, "Where your mama at?" First thing they say is where your mama at.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah, and listen to me, y'all. Me and Jimmy, we have no reason to be on, you know how the dudes they'll come up, well, they just say, no, dude, I heard you yesterday. And you got influence over some of these kids. And I heard you tell that shit. I said, you really think this guy it's gonna be better for this guy to go somewhere else? What the hell is this? I'm sorry, man. Hold on, I'm talking about this. Hold up. It's just unbelievable to me, Jimmy. I mean, I see how easy they start working the kid out. Y'all got to read. Hold up, let me help y'all out too. And to your workout guys, nothing against y'all. But just cause you work people out, don't mean you know about this business. I'm gonna repeat that again, Jimmy. Just because you work kids out, you got a summer team, you got this, don't mean you know the business of this summer basketball. I promise you, it's a different animal. People assumed I knew about it. I didn't know all of this crazy ass shit was going on the underbelly of this beast. I had no idea. Because what I did, Jimmy, I was lucky because I didn't need this thing for my son to work. It's his situation to me. I was blessed. I was in a position where I didn't need a workout guy to validate my son. I didn't need that. But guess what? Everybody was not in my position. So that's why I reached back to help. I'm trying to find information. Dude, I mean, it's just the people that I know now in this business. It's just unbelievable. And a lot of these guys just don't, Jimmy, they just don't. I promise you, because the guy I was talking to yesterday, he was sincere. Jimmy, I detect guys who he was sincere. That's the way he felt. He said, well, I just think because he done stood on this, he done said this here, he done stand on, so he had to stand on his word. And I just kept telling him that it makes sense to me. And he could never make it make sense.
Did he try?
I'm sorry, Jim. What you say?
Did he try to make it make sense? What did he say?
No, he just, Jim, everything he said, I used the information that you and Chris Walker and my college coaches that gave to me over the years. I said, but dude, this kid here is one of them. He on the side. He finna leave the politics. What the hell you finna go somewhere else? Then somebody come on, sitting down there in North Carolina with Jeff McGinnis. Jeff McGinnis ain't making no magic out of no fucking body. I know Jeff McGinnis. Just cause your son don't work with Jeff McGinnis don't mean he's gonna be great. Jim, I think I need to say that one more time. Just because your son going to work out with so and so, guess what? A lot of people in this boys, in these workout guys' rooms, in their gym, all of them niggas don't. Excuse me, all of them guys don't make it. I'm sorry, Lord. All of them guys don't make it. Parents, y'all need to quit letting these people fool. And I hate to say they fooling you, because this guy yesterday I talked to, Jimmy, I promise you, I might be wrong. I might be a bad judge of character. He really felt that what he was saying was real.
Oh, really?
But it was really wrong. Parent, he felt, but by the time we got through talking, here's what he called back and he told me, Had I ain't never think about it like that. But Jimmy, these are the people that are helping our parents make decisions about something. Jimmy, this is just like a seed. You trying to go and run Jeff Bezos' spot, and you don't even know how to use a computer. How the hell you gonna make something that is computer driven, and you don't even know how to use a damn computer? These guys out here don't have no. Bless they little heart, but they are influencing these parents, and these parents is going for it. Parents is going for it.
Man,
but keep going. Somebody, hey Jimmy, help me out with this, Jimmy. I was laughing. Somebody sent me a text last night to give a shout out to the Corpus Christi coach and tell him about my son like you did on the air with Jordan Ivory Curry the other day. I said, first of all, I said, I got this jersey right here on. I ain't trying. He the enemy tonight. I'm not trying to talk to the coach on the other team tonight. He the damn enemy tonight. I won't be able. I'll tell him later, but I won't be able to go talk to him because we finna whoop his ass. He ain't finna want to talk to me after no game. But guess what? Jimmy, I told the parent exactly that. I didn't beat around the gym. You know, I just said, yeah, I got it. I done hooked that up for you. No, I didn't. I said, that is not the time for me to tell this man. And really what I want to say, if your son a badass dude, that man gonna find him. But keep going, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, it is this time of the year, of course, and going into this weekend. We have the spring icebreaker, Adam, and we posted all of the pool schedules on the web, on the app, the RCS Sports app, late last night. And today I will post the showcase games for Saturday, the highly anticipated showcase schedule, as well as the other brackets will get posted as in the next. We'll do the showcase games for Saturday, tonight. Then in the morning we'll post the brackets, and then also you will get tomorrow Sunday's showcase lineup, which is kind of like waiting on the rodeo to release their lineup of singles. That's what everybody waiting on to see what's going these matchups on the showcase. And Al, here's just something. The energy just my job is just keeping, of course, Chad Grove, shout out, he says, can't wait to watch the icebreaker this weekend. Chad is over in Arizona, one of the foremost authorities of the recruiting scene up in Arizona. And thank him always for his support. The Unsigned Senior Showcase, which starts on Friday morning, Friday at noon, at the newly built ULH Events Center, right off the intersection of Beltway 8 and I-45. It's been sold out, Hatter, since the weekend. It was sold out. And I knew it was going to fill up. That's why some people say, man, I don't see you got nothing on the website on. This Unsigned Senior Showcase isn't for everybody. This one right here, we knew it was going to sell out. And there's a lot of talent that's going to be playing. And we're going to have 2 college coaches on each bench. It's going to be 4 teams playing at each time. And 4 teams will be waiting. It's 8 teams total with about 8 players on each one. You play, sit, play, sit, play. Unlike most unsigned senior showcases, another thing that make it special, once again, historically special, is that there's never been an unsigned senior showcase in this state, on these grounds of Texas, where 2 active college coaches, not former college coaches, not retired college coaches, not aspiring college, active employees on basketball staffs would be on each bench. And the players will rotate benches as they play. So that means you play one game, these 2 coaches get to coach you. They get to interact with you and vice versa. You go to the next game, you're on the other court. Those coaches get to coach you. And each game is a quick shot. I'll tell you what I learned about unsigned senior showcases. I've been doing them for years. It's easier to get exposed than to get exposure at an unsigned senior showcase. And it might sound crazy, but I'll explain to you why. Why is because most of them, the kids haven't practiced together. So you're basically rolling the balls out. The coach, like in this situation, it's college coach. They're not having no practice before they do this. It's basically him herding the cattle. So he doesn't know that you are effective out of the pick and roll, that you're good on the low block. That coach doesn't necessarily know that. Nor does he have time to find it out before you play. So the games, let's say in many cases, the games start to get goofy at unsigned senior showcase games because their games are so long, and the guys, when they get in the second half, it turns into this and one aspirational dunk fest, or everybody want to throw the ball off the backboard. And so the coaches are sitting there looking like, oh man, I can't use that. The real him done showed up now. So now you've exposed yourself because now the coach realized that you've swayed away from the fact that this is a job interview. This is an interview which can save your mama, your mammy, and your pappy thousands of dollars. And you have the nerve to come out here and want to just start doing crazy stuff. You've deviated from the plan. So that's why I say it can expose you. So what we're doing is, Adam, we're simplifying the games. We're shrinking the games. Each game is about 20, 25 minutes. So now it's hard. By the time you get tired, you sub out. Next guy get tired. You don't have enough time to get goofy. You see what I'm saying? So we're protecting you in your efforts of being recruited. We're leave much to be desired from that college coach. And there are going to be other coaches that's going to be sitting on the other side watching both games at the same time with scholarships in hand. Emails went out to most all high school coaches in the area. We went through the high school coaches. Another thing that's rare for this unsigned senior showcase. We could have, guess what? I love you guys, Grassroots community, but I wanted to go and do it this way so that it's an effort. Because we're in a historic year in Texas. The power of the high school coach has an opportunity to move the needle drastically in 2022. So I want to help them to be able to help themselves because they don't a lot of them aren't familiar with how this grassroots stuff works, how this new wave recruiting works. Did you guys know that in June, when they have the UIL, the NCAA 2 live weekends for the high school coaches and those high school teams, well, the Division I coaches can watch. Last year, it was at Duncanville High School. They had more college coaches at that location on that weekend than any other location in the United States. That ain't by coincidence. But this year, 2022, the coaches get to coach their own teams for the first time in decades. They get to coach their own teams, Hal.
Wow.
So that means the power is being restored. Now, everybody don't want that power. A lot of these high school coaches would rather go home. They do their 8 hours, do their 8 and hit the gate. Do their 8 hours and hit the gate. They go home. Trust me, guess what? But now it's going to expose a lot of high school coaches. See, certain coaches, you don't have to sway the talent away. If you got a reason you can pay attention. Some coaches don't want to open their gyms up for their kids to come work out. Or if you don't have to want to do it, you can have your infrastructure in place to open it up. Your assistant coach is an employee of the school as well. But they can coach their own kids during this event. So that's really, really big. But the spring icebreaker, man, we finished up with 272 teams, which is a lot. Maybe more than any other event taking place in the United States this weekend. I don't know. You guys can let me know after the weekend over with. Once again, it's very well possible that this is not a down year. It's a down year for some people, but the spring icebreaker is grooving. It may be a down year for talent. So you can't attribute that to the event itself. The platform is the platform. Infrastructure is in place. But Adam, if me and you played a game and let's say we played dominoes or cards. We did something, right? Mm-hmm. And if you beat me 272 to 132, what would you say?
If I beat you what?
If before the game, I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody around, I'm coming. I'm fit to take over you, O'Hara.
Yeah, I got it. I expect from the game.
And I'm telling you, watch this. Knock him out the box. Hannah washed up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna use the color scheme of a grassroots team and use the name of them, their likeness with their colors, and put their star player on my flyer. Put their star player on my flyer. And guess what that program did? They say, we're not gonna play in your stuff. Because that was foul and you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're not gonna put us in the middle of your stuff. And if you do, you want to go that route, you could have cut us in on the deal and we could have broke bread. So we're gonna go to where on this one right here, you're wrong. And you know how we're gonna show you that you're wrong? We're not gonna go and beat you upside the head with words. We're gonna show you with our actions. That's what informed consumers are supposed to do in this business world. When you're disappointed and the product ain't there, or you basically go take your business elsewhere. That'll get their attention.
Absolutely.
That's what they did. So I give a shout out to Coach Ned and the takeover program and Teddy and all those guys. That's what they did. We're gonna take our business elsewhere because we're not going to subscribe. We can support you, but we're not going to support you in your efforts to go and use us as your bait, as your entourage, as you go and try to squabble against a guy that's like our uncle. It's our brother. And that's the part. And I tell people, sitting idle ain't the same. Some people, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to do it. They got me thinking. No. So you, eventually, if you want your young men that you guide to look up to you and learn how to make grown folk man decisions, then they have to see you making those man decisions and understand the principles for which you stand upon when you make those decisions. That's what young men, they emulate whom they idolize. You know? But once again, did all that talk, telling people, man, we got all these courts, we got all these teams. And I'm like, it don't make sense. It don't even add up. The numbers don't even add up. Don't even add up. You're not going to have all them courts. You're not going to have all those teams. So then what happens is when you get closer to the events, when you realize you got all this real estate, not enough teams to fill them. So know what you got to do then, Adam? You got to make decisions. You can go and cut deals. Hey, y'all come free. Come on free. I just need you over here. I just need to get my numbers up. Because really, I really think the number was close to about 115, maybe 100. You had to go get 30 people. I let y'all in free. Y'all can play. Come on. Just don't go over there. So then you the summer coach, Adam. You the summer coach. How are you gonna look your parents in the eye when you walk over in the other event this weekend, and you looking around and you seeing who you playing? You might get one good feeling out of it, and you saying to yourself, man, I know it. Somebody gonna come up to you. They gonna say, man, we know we should have went over there. You think it's still time for us to get some showcase games in? I already know what's going to happen. I swear, I promise, I bet my right pocket, I would get a call or text from somebody on Saturday. And I guarantee you, somebody going to call or text me and say, man, you got some room for us to come over there, man? You got a spot for us on Sunday for a showcase game? I guarantee you it's going to happen. Guarantee you. And so the thing is, you guys being misled and you're allowing yourselves to be misled because that's what you want to hear. So guess what? You go over there and they might have Twitter packages for you. Go on, get your Twitter package. Don't you know, and see how it's. But meanwhile, won't you ask some of these 12th graders right now that got them Twitter packages a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, how in the hell is it working out for them? How's it working out for them? Some people are making you believe that this is the route that you got to go, and not one single person they can show you as a testimony that did it that way and it worked out to where they were supposed to go. Come on now. Think about what I just said. Keep telling y'all, you letting people just bamboozle you. And you're smarter than that. You don't have to be helpless in this stuff. That's how. You don't have to be helpless in this stuff. You don't. Hell, we in double overtime, man. But anyway, we're going to get ready to land the plane, guys. And as you say, as you guys know, you know what I'm getting at. Once again, if I brag my ass off for a whole year, telling you how I'm coming and I'm doing this right here, and we play a game, we compete, it's game time. And Or I brag, like y'all put it on me. I brag for a whole year about how I'm gonna kick your ass, how I'm gonna beat you, how you know, I'm gonna knock a dent in you, knock a patch of hair out your head. And then game time come, you beat me 272 to 132. What the hell you gonna say? That's all that. What you gonna say to me? Shit. But once again, you guys, I thank everybody for the support and the energy. You make sure you go and follow RCS Sports. You go and download the app. I'm about to get in the lab and go and work on these showcase games, and so that we can put some good stuff out for you guys. And you know, it's going to be, this weekend is going to be pretty good. We got good weather. If you're a college coach who's coming in town to watch some of the games, some of the unsigned senior showcase, as well as some of the games on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, let me know. We had free. I was paying for hotel rooms for the college coaches, but I think I might have filled up my block. So I got some deals at the Hyatt for like $69. You ain't beating that nowhere. But it's only one bed in the room. All the doubles are gone. So let me know. Get at me if you want to get a room. If you're coming in town. And really, some of you parents from Beaumont, College Station, Diboll, Lufkin, you know, Galveston, it might be cheaper for you to go on and pay that and stay in H-Town than to go all the way back home with these gas prices. It might be something for you to think about. And many of you guys, for real, might be something to think about. But we're gonna get up out of here and land the plane on the Chop Shop Day. Make sure you share the show on the way out the door, and we'll give a shout out to Coach David Peavy, who's been named as one of the coaches for the Jordan Brand All-American game. Yes, Michael Peavy has been named as one of the basketball coaches for the Jordan Brand All-American basketball game, which the rosters were released this morning and to the public. And on those rosters, of course, that game is going to take place. It normally takes place, it's going to be April the 15th, and it's going to be in Chicago, right? In Chicago, Illinois, and at the Hope Academy. That's April the 15th, the Jordan Brand All-American game. And you guys make sure you show your support. We got about 4 Texas-based kids who got selected. I know Keontae George is one of them. Also, I'm on the boys' side. Also, Jordan Walsh, Kason Wallace, and who am I missing? And it might have just been those 3. I hope I ain't missing nobody. I think it's just those 3 from the great state of Texas that got selected to the Jordan Brand. So shout out to Coach Peavy. You know, great accomplishment. This goes on his resume. He's officially a nationally recognized high school basketball coach, which is a great thing for him. So anyway, guys, see you on tomorrow. We'll get up out of here, man. Peace. Make sure you share the show on the way out the door, but it's time to yabba dabba do this thing and slide on down Dino's back. But we up out of here. See you on tomorrow. Y'all be safe. And meanwhile, I'm going to remind you, if you missed this early, hold on. Speaking of Duncanville, I want you to check this out on the way out the door. Hold on.
Cy Falls, Golden Eagles 6A. 7th ranked preseason team in the greater Houston area. The magazine, my Uncle Jim Hicks, you know what I'm saying, gave this to me at the beginning of the year when we was down there for the opener. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jim Hicks and the Chop Shop. Mr. Hatter was good. So we appreciate y'all, man. Cy Falls, Golden Eagles. We got Cy Ranch. That's who we got next, our next opponent. So we using this as a guide, man. We appreciate y'all.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks. Going